Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Jody coming to you from a distance, which is something we're all used to by now. I just want to offer you a few brief words about the state of our church from a pastoral perspective. To keep it short, I'm very encouraged, not despite what I've seen over the last few months, but precisely because of what I've seen over the past few months. I have seen this church adapt and show a spiritual agility in the midst of this global pandemic, learning to be the church in a new way. That has encouraged me. The way that people have committed to supporting this church, praying for this church, continuing to support the financial needs of this church. It has moved me to see people step up and so willingly learn this new way of being the church. I've also been encouraged as I have watched this world face the tensions of a crisis around racial injustice and systems of racism. And I've watched the people of this church step up and convene and say, what can we do? How can we be part of a solution? How can we be part of creating a more just world? And I know that there are some who have asked, do we need to do this? Is this an issue at PUMC? It is an issue everywhere. And so, yes, it is important. John Wesley felt that there is no holiness but social holiness, that this is a way that we need to engage in the world and engage in God's call to justice. So I've been encouraged to see people take on that call. I've been encouraged by the progress that we've made. We have reconvened in worship in safe ways, in protective ways. We're being careful about it, but we've been able to do that. We're learning how to reopen our doors that were locked at one point so that small groups and support groups can come and continue their important work. And we're exploring, when doors open, it's not just about people coming in, but people going out. So we're exploring how to re-engage in mission. Not to say that we haven't been doing mission in just the same way. We never closed the church. We've been very active, but the world has changed, and so the mission may look different. How do we provide baskets this year? How do we provide food around Thanksgiving this year? How do we explore the possibility of secondhand rows coming back as a ministry in this community in a time when it's very much needed? How do we meet the needs of students who are experiencing school in a new way? And so those conversations are happening, and I'm just so very grateful to all of you and for all of you. I said to somebody just last night, I'm so fortunate to be a pastor at this church. Our future is bright. I am very much encouraged. I thank you for your ongoing support of the church. I hope that the rest of these reports encourage you and provide some important information about our life together as a congregation. And I wish you many blessings. Thank you for being with us. God bless.
Good morning. Between 1841 and 1869, more than 400,000 people emigrated west over the Oregon and Mormon pioneer trails. These pioneers left everything behind, their possessions, their families, and their friends, in order to find a new life in a new land. So when Pastor Jody asked for some input on what was the state of the church, I immediately thought of this place right here, Chimney Rock in western Nebraska. Pioneers on those trails marked Chimney Rock from miles away, guiding their wagon trains past this point into Wyoming, Utah, Oregon, and California. In fact, those pioneers became the ancestors of many people currently living on the west side of the Missouri River. And without realizing it, they lived by the words of both Teddy Roosevelt and Helen Keller. Roosevelt reminded us that credit should always belong to those who are actually in the arena, those whose faces are marred with dust and sweat and blood, who strive valiantly, come up short again and again, who at the best know in the end the triumph of high achievement, and at the worst, if they failed, at least they failed by daring greatly. Likewise, Helen Keller wrote that security is mostly a superstition. Life is a daring adventure, or it's nothing. My friends, we are the pioneers of Christianity in our time. Whether we are enjoying our church's virtual online ministries, or we are reinventing our mission programs, whether we are extending our reach across the Hudson Valley with cooperative parishes, or we are coming back to in-person worship services. We are the pioneers, and our church is living the pioneer spirit where we dare greatly and live the adventure with God as our guide. Together, we are going forward where no Methodists have gone before, and together we pioneer a new trail, following Christ in a new direction. Stay safe and see you soon.
Hi, this is John Marine. I'd like to just give you a quick update on two of the areas within our church. One is the Education Discipleship Committee. We have been meeting and have been talking about how we're going to reconvene in the fall, and we have asked for plans from our children's ministry, our youth ministry, our young adult ministry, our adult ministry, as well as our Wesleyan small group ministry. Reconvening plans to say how we're going to open up in the fall. We're drafting those. We have finalized those, and we're going to be talking about those in a committee meeting soon. The other areas are youth ministry. We ended our youth year with a celebration on Zoom in middle of June. And over the summer, we've had three events. One was the walkway over the Hudson, and on the Highland side, grab some ice cream. We also had game night playing categories on Zoom, and we will be coming up on to go out mini golfing and ice cream at the end of the night. You're seeing a trend here with the ice cream. We also have reconvening plan for our youth ministry, as I mentioned earlier. That was being requested. We have done that and finalized that and sent that in. And we're also waiting for some decisions to be made for updates to be given on what our fall schedule will look like as we open up in September. It'll probably be a mixture of Zoom and in person, but we're just got to formulate that plan, and that'll be coming out soon. That's the updates for those two areas. Be safe, be happy. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Barb Adams, and I am giving you a report from Community Nursery School for the State of Our Church weekend. The Community Nursery School is, of course, a mainstay of the church. We typically serve between 70 and 80 families every school year and have accumulated a nice financial nest egg because we are in full operation and have been financially autonomous for years and years and years, but do enjoy having the relationship with the church as a community outreach mission. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, the program is facing some challenges. We closed in March when all of the public schools closed. Our teachers quickly adapted and developed a video library, an online system of keeping in touch with the kids through videos. We did suspend our summer program, and now we are facing the challenges of putting together a program for the fall. We have some teachers that have anxiety. In fact, 2 teachers have tendered their resignation because they simply aren't comfortable teaching in the era of COVID with the guidelines that we are putting in place. The guidelines we're putting in place are, of course, reduced class sizes, facial coverings, disinfecting. The classes will not be allowed to mingle or interact, no going to the playground together. Parents are not allowed into the classroom, no guests, so on and so forth. As much as we can to keep everyone safe and the parents comfortable. In spite of all of that, many parents are hesitant, and we are in the process right now of trying to get commitments from parents as to who is going to come. We did have almost full registration for next year in March when all of this closed down. We have been contacting all of those parents to try and get them to commit as to whether or not they're still going to be bringing their child. At this point, I think we have commitments from about 30 to 35 families. Yes, we're going to continue those efforts. That will define how many people we need on staff, and that of course defines what our budget is going to be. We typically have a balanced budget where our tuition income covers our expenses. With the reduced class size, with reduced enrollment, this is going to be challenging this year. We are going to hope to limp along through the fall, and hopefully circumstances will look brighter in January. But there is some anxiety about the program and how we're going to make it all work, both from a perspective of staying safe as well as the financial aspect. So we will hope that during the next State of the Church report in 3 months, we'll have some really positive, affirming news. But right now, there's a lot of anxiety about the program, and certainly prayers will be appreciated. So, thank you.
Good morning, friends. This is Sandy Pullinger, and I'm reporting for Friendship Circle and UMW. The purpose of United Methodist Women tells us to be a loving, supportive community, and that is exactly what Friendship Circle is. We normally meet monthly on the second Monday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We have an informative or educational or uplifting program. We pray for one another, and of course, in the Methodist way, we have delicious refreshments. We are always open to service opportunities like providing socks for the homeless or dinner for the shelter, or any kind of things that our folks may need. Our world-famous Election Day Pie Bake helps us to fund these and other local and global needs. Sometimes we just have fun. In February, we all went out for a Valentine's lunch together at a local restaurant. At the end of each meeting, we form a circle, joining hands and singing, "Blessed be the tie that binds." And so we shall still be joined in heart until we meet again. Our last in-person gathering was in March. As with all meetings, we've had to suspend our normal way of being together and find some new ways. We've called each other, sent notes, and figured out how to Zoom. We found that even though we can't do things the usual way, we can still find some way. By the time you see this, we will have held our first in-person gathering, a bring your own picnic, in the courtyard. We hope to start our regular monthly meetings in September on the second Monday as usual. It'll look a little different, but we will be together. We won't be doing our benediction singing, though. We've had to curtail our prayer shawl ministry because we can't do in-person visits. There are still plenty in our supply closet waiting for when we can resume. We're still planning to hold our Harvest Bazaar. Once again, there'll be some changes made. We won't have a sit-down lunch, but takeout will be available. We still have plans for beautiful handmade gifts, jewelry, takeaway baked goods, and gift baskets. What about the world-famous pie bake on Election Day? The election will probably set records for voter turnout. It will provide a great opportunity to sell a lot of pies. Presently, we're working on a way to still make that happen. In the meantime, we invite you to join this loving sisterhood and experience God's love together with us.
Greetings from Missions and Outreach. We have not been on pause. We've been very active in our church. We have 2 containers here at the front entrance of the narthex and also inside of our church, one for Love Inc. and one for Duchess Outreach. You can drop off social distancing anytime you want, and the items are picked up and brought to the locations where they are needed. Hopefully you received the email about some other upcoming activities for Mission and Outreach. One of them is Barb Adams' Internet Cafe at Tubman Terrace. In October, we'll be sending out an email regarding the Thanksgiving baskets, which are still on. And there's lots of opportunities for you to be of help in our community of Poughkeepsie. Thank you for Mission and Outreach.
Good morning, PUMC. This is Polly James with an update on music ministry. During this health crisis, your chancel choir and Voices in Praise have not been able to rehearse or lead live music in worship. However, members of these choirs have been assisting Pastor Jody in leading hymns and providing special music. Steve Sickberg deserves many accolades for his piano and organ support. We are so blessed to have him. Thank you, Steve. The last time our two choirs were together was for a rehearsal for the Welcome Celebration service. I call these choirsters the Poughkeepsie United Methodist Choir, and united we are. It was amazing to view the joy, laughter, and determination these choirsters brought to the rehearsal, including our wonderful pastor. Now we are all praying for each other during our distancing. We will be together again. Until that time, I offer these words from a beloved hymn. Oh, for 1,000 tongues to sing my great Redeemer's praise, the glories of my God and King, the triumphs of his grace. Amen.
My name is Barb Adams, and I'm here to bring you a State of the Church report from the Harriet Tubman Academic Skills Center. I am actually gonna film here at the program center because I realize that a lot of folks, as much as you support the program, you've never been here. So if you're just listening, I'm gonna encourage you to go to YouTube and check it out. Give a quick little tour of the program center. This is the front room that you walk into. And then over here, we have our two classrooms. We serve K1 and 2 over on this side. Give you a peek at their classroom. And we serve children in grades 3, 4, 5 on this side. Now we are doing a summer cleaning and going through the book, so pardon the mess. And then a lot of kids get to come out to the community room for science projects, for independent working. We do have the whiteboard over there for group discussions, and we do have our large interactive panel over here. We have a kitchen for activities and the office over there. So that's the quick tour. I can say that the Tubman apartment complex folks gave us access to this room to run the after school program over 20 years ago, and we've been in continuous operation ever since. The program has seen some challenging times, but right now we're in a really, really good place. We have been serving children that come to the program at 3 o'clock and they stay till 5:30. We have a staff of 4 people, a program director, 2 teachers, and a support staff who is specializing in SEL coordination, which is socio-emotional learning. She is here to diffuse any of the emotional flare-ups, to work with kids on character building, to work with kids on problem solving. What's the best way to handle challenging circumstances, things like that. So we're really excited about a great staff. We're really excited about our space. It is bright and clean. The apartment complex gave us some new storage cabinets and 2 new air conditioning units. So we're really excited. That said, we do have some challenges with the COVID. We did close in March. The teachers did a great job of transferring their activities to what we call brown bag activities, where they would have activities in reading, science, math, games, and they would put them in brown bags, all the supplies that they needed, and they put them outside the door, and the kids would come and take them home, pick them up and take them home to do. It was very popular. We did do a summer program under the same format. We tried to do Zoom activities, but it really didn't fly so good. Which brings me to a point that these children are going to face remote learning, like all the kids in this county. And so the focus of the after-school program, which traditionally is to facilitate academic success, build strong character, and create a lifelong love of learning. That's our mission statement. The staff here knows that we're going to shift our emphasis this year and concentrate on facilitating remote learning. We know that that's going to be a challenge for some of these kids, and that's what we're going to be here to facilitate. So we're excited about that. We are going to open. We have taken COVID precautions, such as we're reducing class sizes. We are having mandatory face masks. We will do social distancing and sterilizing on a regular basis. So we feel we're taking all of our safe precautions, and more importantly, we feel that the kids truly need our service more than ever. Financially, we are on solid ground through this particular fiscal year, 2020. Our financial supporters are, of course, PUMC, to which we are grateful. We also get a lot of support from the Dutchess County Planning Agency through our APG grant, Dyson Foundation, Community Foundation, the Vassar Community Works Program, the I Am Book Club, Stewarts. So we have a lot of people and a lot of organizations contributing to the success of this program, and we are grateful for every dollar, and we put every dollar to effective use. Many individual donations, countless just private individual donations, again, to which we are grateful. So we do have strong funding through 2020. We will have to renew a lot of our grants, and there's some anxiety about what COVID-19 is going to do to our ongoing funding revenue sources, but we'll deal. We're going to finish out this year strong, and we're going to be there for the students. And as always, and again, we are grateful for the ongoing support of PUMC. Thank you.
Hello, this is Jerry Harness. I'm chair of the Board of Trustees, and Pastor Jody asked that we take a few minutes and tell you about the state of the church from a trustee point of view. The trustees, there are 9 trustees, and they're responsible for 2 things. First of all, the upkeep of the buildings that the church owns, and secondly, the managing of the investments of the church. PUMC owns 4 buildings. That's the church building itself, the pastor's parsonage, a second parsonage that we received from the Trinity through the church, a merger with the Trinity Methodist Church, and the church building of the Wappingers Church, which is in Wappingers Falls. The church building in Wappingers we're trying to sell. We have a buyer. The sale is in the final stages we're in the final stages of the sale. We hope it's going through fairly soon. The parsonage for Trinity we're trying to also sell. Also, we hope that we're selling that fairly soon. The parsonage that just Pastor Jody lives in, we do a great deal of update this year. We're planning to put in new windows, all new windows. It's a 50-year-old building, and we have the original windows. Also, we're putting siding on the building. The main work that we do is in our own church building, and we have a number of smaller projects that we've done. For example, we had to repair the doors because they were. We had 4 doors that were not secured, and we had to repair those. Also, we had to work on a bead dry system for the downstairs, keep downstairs warm, dry, and have to replace the pumps in the septic system to keep that going. The major project we have is, first of all, we're improving the lighting on the altar, because at this point the choir can hardly see the music, so we're trying to improve on that. But the major project that we're involved in right now is the sound system in the sanctuary. That has three components. First of all, the sound system is poor. We need to improve that. Second one is that the display that we have in the church, the music, for example, the words for the music in the 8:30 service is not very good, and we want to improve that. And the major change is the update of the streaming system. Pastor Jody has a great deal of difficulty in keeping doing the streaming, because the system was never designed to do any streaming. So what we're trying to do is have new cameras, new microphones, have a new mixing board for the cameras and the microphones, have the ability to change slides from anywhere in the church, so we can have presentations from anywhere in the church, and mostly update the streaming service, allow that to be up to date, so we have so it's very, and it's reliable. The church, the trustees have two major subcommittees. One of them is the Memorial Committee. The Memorial Committee is working on the sign. Lloyd Wright is leading that, and he's working with the town to get the permits for the sign. It's an electronic sign, and the what's on the sign can be changed from the church office. The second subcommittee is the Garden Committee, which is led by Carla Vinson, and she is providing all the new plans. She's doing all the new plants. She has a lot of volunteers that help, and she can always need new volunteers. The new volunteers, the way she has it organized is they adopt a section of the property, and they plant the plants, basically each person has adopted a piece of the property. She's doing a beautiful job, and just look around when next time you're in church, what we have in church, and it really is a beautiful place. And I want to thank you for watching this. This is the update for the trustees, and I hope to have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Hi, Barb Adams. This time from a State of the Church report from SPRC, the Staff Parish Relations Committee. I cannot, on behalf of SPRC, which I think is on behalf of the congregation, I can't say enough praise and appreciation of the PUMC staff, from the pastor on down, from the pastor who has faced a form of providing worship in a way that no one ever could have imagined, and yet has adapted on a dime and led this church through the church building closure. The secretaries, the custodian, our youth director, our musical employees in the music department, everyone has done the very best they can under the circumstances of the building closure. And as I think most people will agree, the building closed, but because of our staff, the church was not closed. We continued in worship, we continued in fellowship, we continued in youth activities, all because of these staff. The staff has continued to receive payment of compensation of their salaries. They have modified their work schedules. They've modified their work either from home or in the building on a limited basis. SPRC right now is actively meeting with all of the PUMC staff to talk about what the new, sorry to use the cliche, what the new normal is for them, what job responsibilities got affected by COVID, what remains in place, how they envision the responsibilities of their job in the near and far future. So we're in the process of that. And we'll make the necessary adjustments accordingly, and speak with, of course, finance and church council as to how all of that affects our budget. But for now, state of our church, state of the PUMC staffing is strong, is as committed and dedicated to serving God and this church as ever. And we are extraordinarily blessed to have this staff in place. So keep up the good work, staff. As a congregation, let's continue to support our marvelous staff. God bless and thank you.